Hello, welcome to Conversation with Sana. This video is about Cambodia. It is a follow-up video to the one that I did on Singapore. So we flew from Singapore to Phnom Penh in Cambodia. It's less than a couple of hours, basically, but of course, you go to the airport, you wait. It takes a little bit longer, but flying time is less than a couple of hours. As always, before traveling to a new country, check passport, visa requirement, and any arrival documentation you need. As a US citizen, you do need a visa, but you can get it beforehand or when you arrive at the airport. We did ours beforehand. I felt if we do it in advance, it will save us time when we get there and less hassle. You also need to fill out an arrival form within 7 days of entry and make sure you actually fill out the information, because if you don't do the documentation and follow the procedure of a country, they might turn you away from entering the country, and we don't want that to happen. Obviously, you spend a lot of money and time and effort to get to a country, and you don't want to not be able to get in. If you get a credit card, of course, get one that doesn't charge you any fees. And there's a lot of them out there that doesn't charge fees, and some have annual fees and some don't. Choose the one that best suit your needs. And if you use a credit card, usually pay with the local currency. That is the best option for you, and let your bank convert to the U.S. exchange rate, obviously, or from any other country that you come to. Bring an adapter, phone charger, check your phone plan. Usually, some people get eSIMs when they travel internationally. I have an international plan with T-Mobile, and it's really a good package. It covers a lot of the countries, and there's usually data included. But nowadays, Wi-Fi is everywhere. Anywhere you go to a restaurant or a cafe, you're able to access the Wi-Fi. Pack lightly. Usually, people take too much stuff, and you don't want to lug around a heavy suitcase, especially if you're going to different cities in different areas. And I read a statistic that says we usually utilize 29% of the stuff that we take with us. So we really don't need, to pack a lot of stuff. Just look at the local area and see what's the cultural area you're in, because you don't want to do something that doesn't conform of the place that you're going to. It's very important actually to follow the rules and regulation of the area. Some areas are very modest, that you have to dress conservatively. So my suggestion is to usually do the research beforehand and see what's acceptable in the area you're going to. I typically sign up for the Smart Traveler program with the Department of State. I find that in case anything happen, you're out there and you should be able to evacuate and do whatever you have to do and come home, as long as you're signed up for the program. People know where you're at. Again, we flew into Phnom Penh, and it is the capital of Cambodia. It was founded in 1372. It was a major trading hub for a long time, but then it was abandoned, and it took a long time for it to be reestablished. It was reestablished by the French, and they called it the Pearl of Asia. Of course, a lot of us know the history of Cambodia and the genocide that happened with the Khmer Rouge, and the city was destroyed completely and suffered a lot. And going into Cambodia, you have to keep that in mind, because you still, the people, when you talk to the local people, a lot of the older generation remember what happened. And of course, if you go to different sites, there are different area where you can see like the prison camp and so on, how much they suffered. So to move on, when we arrived in Cambodia, we took the tuk-tuk from the airport to the hotel. And this is a very inexpensive way to actually go from one place to the other in the city. Tuk-tuks are very heavily used, and are for minutes, we basically paid $12, which is very expensive compared to a taxi. Our driver was very personable. He spoke a little bit English, and he gave us actually a flyer of the different activities that we can do in the area. We arrived in the afternoon, and he's like, okay, here you go, there's this flyer, and all these activities if you want to enjoy the city. Tuk-tuks is a fun way to travel within the city, short distance. If you're going a long distance, of course you need the taxi and make different arrangement. So once we checked into the hotel, we actually, of course, I'm all about taking advantage of the time. We went to the Central Market and the Russian Market. Both obviously are huge with lots of vendors, lots of stalls, crafts, souvenirs, and food. I felt like the Russian market is geared toward the local people where they go to buy their like daily stuff, and the Central Market is more expensive, a little bit more expensive, and it's more organized, and it's actually housed in a Art Deco structure that was built in 1937. Either market, the people are very friendly and very hospitable, and they welcome you, and they actually, people speak a little bit English and they talk to you, and I enjoy conversing with the local people. You get to know, and you learn and understand, and walk away feeling very welcomed. We stayed actually at the Enek Palace Hotel, very, very reasonably priced. Is South Asian countries, when you get there, your dollar is actually, it goes a long way, and it depends on where you want to stay. You can spend 20, 30, $40, or you can spend $100, $200. And if you're budget oriented like me, you can choose places that actually are reasonably priced, but they offer a lot of amenities. The hotel had a rooftop and a bar area. So we actually spent the night on the rooftop, and you can see the city views. It was higher up a little bit, and you're able to sit and relax and just watch the city and the sounds, absorbing the local atmosphere. Mm. So the next day, actually, we stayed in Phnom Penh, and we went to the Royal Palace, and it is really it has gold and silver, and the architecture is from the Khmer architecture, and it actually gives you an idea how the royal family lived. And there is in there a temple, a silver pagoda, and the tiles in the building, silver tiles, and they have an emerald Buddha in there. And it just, like, it's grand. Like anywhere you go to, like palaces, they build them to show the wealth and to show, how they live. So it was really worth going to. We did move on actually in the afternoon to Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum, and this is very sad. And if you're not able to handle graphic uh, history, I recommend for you not to go there. But it is a good way for you to understand how the people actually suffered for a very long time under the Khmer Rouge. So it's S-21 prison, Tuol Sleng Genocide, and this was a school that turned into a prison, and they documented everybody, took picture, and wrote names of everybody that went into that prison. And you guys can correct me, I believe there was 20,000 prisoners there over the years. And you walk into the rooms, you show how they were held, and some of the areas where they tortured the people. So like I said, it's very graphic, and it touches your heart. It's very sad. You cry that human people can do this to each other. I did buy two books while I'm there. The first one is about the only survivor from that prison, C-21. It's called Cham May, and he's actually survived, and the only survivor that came out from that prison. And then the second book, first they killed my father, and it's about a young lady's journey from Cambodia to come to the U.S. Both very touching. I really liked reading them because it gives you additional information of how the people suffered and how they lived, but it shows that they were strong and capable and resilient. On our third day, we actually went to Siem Reap, which were huge, major, iconic temples of Cambodia, and a lot of people actually, like we did, make a connecting stop into Cambodia to go to the temples, Angkor Wat and Ta Prohm temples. But when we got to the city, it was late. It was at night, and after checking in, we went to the Regency Angkor Hotel. And I actually checked today to see how much the cost. Average price is like less than $50 for the night, and it comes with breakfast buffet. It's really, and the buffet is awesome. You can see all kinds of food, and they try to accommodate different types of people from different backgrounds. But I always enjoy the local food. We actually had the next day soup and rice for breakfast because that's what the Cambodian people do. The part of their regiment is to eat, rice and soup. And we went in with the idea, okay, we're here, we might as well try it. So we tried it. But the night before, when we got there, we actually went to a dinner at a Cambodian restaurant and watched a dance show, which is called Apsara Dance Show. And this is traditional performance, Khmer performance, and they tell stories through the dance and music. And there's all different packaging if you want to go watch a dance. It ranges from $20 to $45. Some of them include food. Some of them include transportation from the hotel or the places that you're at. Like when we went to the Russian market from the hotel, we paid like $2 or $3 per trip, and it wasn't that far. Like I said, our US dollars, it goes a long way, and they prefer for you anytime you buy something, they want money. Take small bills with you so you can actually negotiate with the dollar. So after spending the night there, the next day we woke up and we went to Angkor Wat and Ta Prohm temples. The Ta Prohm temples, it's mind boggling. This temple was built in 1186, but over the years it was abandoned. And when they found it, these massive trees and branches and basically took over the structure, and like you walking around and there's stones and the roots are coming out of the stones. And from what I understand, this is where Lara Croft Tomb Raider was filmed, and I can see why, because when you're walking around you see these huge tree trunks, and like they're like your imagination is like a 3D picture coming out of the walls. So it was very mind-boggling. It was really worth going to see because it shows nature and how the element actually plays into the architecture of any building. So it's really worth seeing. And then we went and had lunch. There's plenty of food and lunch option restaurants to suit your budget. You can go to the local stalls, local vendors, local cafes, or if you want to eat at the hotel, anywhere you are going to find a very huge selection, range prices. And I typically don't like to talk about food because I feel like people have different tastes and different budgets, and they want to spend, a dollar here or a dollar there. So I do your research with the internet these days. There's plenty of ways for you to find the best restaurants anywhere you go to, just like your hometown. So Angkor Wat, when we went there, it is one of the largest Actually, I think it's the number one largest religious temple in the world. It was built between 1113 and 1150. And when you go and walk around, it's like stepping back in time with this massive religious site. And in the outer gallery, all these stone carvings that tell stories after story, and it shows you how the people, the local customs, how they lived, how they worshipped. And this structure obviously survived and huge. It takes you a while to walk around, so you need to allow plenty of time. I suggest hiring somebody, actually, if you don't have a lot of time. There's the hotel can make arrangement for you, or you can take a tuk-tuk driver and just a local person, guide to take you and walk you around, and they'll point out the highlight of the temple and the entire area, because that will help you understand. It will make things easier for you instead of you trying to figure out, where or how. Usually hiring a local guide helps you and makes things easier for you. And so when we got back to the hotel, we went to dinner in the one of the local markets, and it has shopping area, actually, and there's a lot of bargains, linen, clothing for reasonably priced. So if you buy anything, make sure that you actually bargain, and make sure that you check everything before you go back to the hotel. I actually bought pants. I thought I bought four of them, but when I got to the hotel, there was only three. So I had to go back and talk to the shop owner. Luckily, we remembered where the shop was, because all these shops, when you go in and out of them, a lot of them they look alike, but we remembered the place, and we went back and talked to the young lady that was there. And between having the conversation, we concluded, yeah, there is another pants that's missing. So we work things out. Like I said, make sure that you check whenever you buy and bargain. They expect it, but usually bargain softly and not be aggressive about it, because they expect us to bargain and ask for a better price. All right. So we actually, like I said before in my Singapore video, we pack a lot of stuff. We were there for 4 days, and on the fourth day, we actually did a boat ride, the Tunnel Sap Lake. Hopefully, I said it correctly. If anybody out there is from Cambodia, you can correct me. It's the largest freshwater lake that's located in Southeast Asia, and it's full of floating villages, and people utilize the boats to go back and forth between the mainland. It's like a village, basically, floating on the water. A lot of fishing and houses, and they go back and forth using small boats between the villages and the mainland. It was really nice to actually see and explore and seeing the houses on both banks of the water. And so once we finished with that, we went to a local farm, and we actually did a ride on the buffalo carts with a local farming family. And to me, I think that's all. It's a very good way for us to support the local community. They invited us into their home, and they showed us how they live and explained, about the rooms and how each family live and the work they do and what they raise on their farms. And with that, when we finished the touring, the farm and talking to the family, they had the local ladies, like a few of them that work in weaving baskets. So they did a presentation on weaving and how they do it and how they make their living from it. And there was a tour of us, and some of the people bought baskets. I actually bought a small coaster for my desk. I like buying little things, memory to keep. I'm not usually a huge shopper. I like the small things, like for memory. And I bought a coaster, for my desk. And I look at it, it reminds me, and I smile when I see it because we had a very good experience in Cambodia. All right. So, and after that, we went to the Angkor National Museum, and with that, they focus on the 9th and the 14th century, to the 14th century, I should say, of the Khmer Rouge Empire. And I really recommend it because you get to see, different from the different galleries, how the empire and how actually people lived and customs and so on. It gives you an exposure, and you don't have to go to all the galleries, but you can pick and choose which one you go to. And they also have a coffee shop that you can sit and relax in as well. So, like I said, we spent 4 days there. We explored basically the heart of Cambodia. Hopefully, you liked my video, and hopefully, it made you want to visit the country. And I think Cambodia is a upcoming travel destination for a lot of people, and people are discovering it more and more. And tell me, hopefully you liked it. Leave a comments, any information that you can give us as well. If you've been there that we missed, that would be great. Give knowledge to the other people that would want to watch this video. I appreciate you watching, and please like and subscribe. My next video will be on Vietnam, but Vietnam is going to be probably 2 or 3 videos because we spent probably 10 days there. So, and we did a lot of stuff. Again, thank you so much for watching.